Hello, my name is John Hawley, and I am principal at the Center for Math and Science in Rock Island, Illinois.
I'm Ian Scott, principal at Thomas Jefferson in Milan, Illinois, and we are your MyRock podcast hosts.
MyRock celebrates what makes RIMSD 41 thrive. Each episode shares inspiring stories and insights from behind the scenes, sharing the heart of our schools.
The podcast also supports our 2030 strategic plan by fostering connections, building relationships, and strengthening communication within our district and our community.
Thank you to all the listeners who've joined us tonight. And remember to share, like, and subscribe where you get your podcasts.
If you're feeling generous, give us 5 stars, tell a friend to give us a listen. And now we'll take you to our episode with Deidre Dunbar.
John, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. We had a wonderful day of meetings this morning with our
did.
principals, and then the afternoon back at school. Kids were great.
I know.
It's good.
Transition back in the building real easy, and now here we are with our guest, Deidre Dunbar. Deidre, thanks so much for being with us today. We're going to get to learn a little bit about you. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me and for Ian both because Ian grew up with Deidre's husband and has known Deidre for a long time, but I'm the benefactor of being the principal at the building where Deidre works. And
Now, to be fair, I was on the hiring committee at RICMS, and so I got to be a part of that. I had a say in that. I had no idea that I'd be at Thomas Jefferson when you were working, so I thought I'd get to work with you. It didn't work out that way, but my loss is your gain.
Absolutely your loss. You made a bad choice. That's all I have to say. And Deidre, that's not because of you that he left to come here. It's probably because I was coming in, I think.
He does get my kids.
That's true.
That's right.
Right, and Deidre's kids come here to Thomas
That's right.
Jefferson.
That's right.
But Deidre, to start us off here, we know that you are making a huge impact at our school and across here, the Illinois part of the Quad Cities. But our audience doesn't know you. So tell us a little bit about you and how did you end up coming into the position that you're in?
Well, I started in education at a private school in East Moline. I was the hot lunch director, and I engaged a lot with students. I did trivia every day, and then I started working in the aftercare and the before care. Once COVID hit, the school shut down, and we moved to Milan during COVID. And I have always wanted to be in education, so it was the right move. Head Start was hiring, and I applied, and I got the position as an assistant teacher for the district.
So tell us a little bit more about that. You just said that you always wanted to be an educator. Where does that come from? How did you get inspired to become an educator?
Well, I struggled in school. I was diagnosed with learning disabilities like dyslexia and ADHD. It showed in the classroom as inattentiveness and disorganization. I had trouble following along. My parents and teachers thought I was social, but I was really just trying to take all attention off of my lack of learning and understanding. I've had kids call me stupid. I didn't understand why I didn't get school like my peers did. And fast forward to me having kids, my oldest son was overwhelmed in his beginning years of school. He had meltdowns so loud the whole building could hear. And we had this magic teacher his kindergarten year, just like my parents had my 5th grade year, who guided us through the year, made us feel heard and seen, and gave us strategies to help him. And just like my 5th grade teacher did for my parents, it pushed me to be that person for the students I'm involved with.
And you are heavily involved. I'm not in that building, but I hear all kinds of great things, and you're making connections. So what's your current position now, and who you're working with, and what age groups? And
I work as a special education paraprofessional. I am in a K-2 classroom. We have resource. We pull kids into our classroom for groups.
And that connection that you're making with those kids, I'm sure that the story that you just told is always kind of rolling around in the back of your head. That maybe there's something more to what's going on, or the behavior that I'm seeing, or the avoidance, or the inattentiveness, or whatever it is, and you can connect. And that's really why, maybe I'm wrong on this, but why I feel like you are doing so well. I mean, you are successful, you're making connections, and the kids really just love being around you.
Thank you.
Well, and Deidre, that doesn't start and end in the classroom, right? Your impact to our families extends beyond the classroom that you're working in. It starts from the moment you get to school. So talk to our audience about how you're making a difference to the kids that you're working with right off the bat, 8 o'clock in the morning. Yep. You're right in that front foyer. What was the inspiration for that? How's it going? And tell us more.
Well, I have a morning group. We have a few students that need a soft start. The activity in the gym can be a little much. So I have my little tub with a little bit of activities, and I sit at the front table in the lobby. As they come in, I collect the ones in my group. But I love it because I get to see all the students walk in. It's as special education, you kind of can get blinders on for your students, but I get to engage with everybody. I get to look kids in the eye and say, hey, I'm happy you're here today, or give them high fives and hugs, and some of them get stickers from me. They know who has the good stickers. But
Who has the good stickers.
It's good to see them come in with maybe a little frown or being tired, but then you make eye contact and you give them a hug, and it's like it melts a little bit before they walk through the doors and they take on the day. Our morning group, we go to the end of the hallway after we have everybody away from the busyness of the lobby, and we talk. We have one student who can come in a little frustrated, and she waits. She doesn't tell me right away, but I'm always happy to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And then within a few minutes, well, I'm just frustrated because today we left early and we got a flat tire, so we had to go back to my house, and then I missed the van and my mom had to take me. She just lets it all out. And then within 5 minutes, we're playing with Play-Doh, talking about the weekend, and then they're ready for their day. They're ready to go in and take on the challenges.
And I think what you're talking about there is you're setting the tone. You get to set the tone, right? And you're being consistent in what you're doing. So they know what they're going to get when they see Miss Dunbar.
It's funny you say that. I have one kid who, every day we walk down the hall, I say, first we put our backpacks away, then we go to the table, and he'll turn around and he says, you've told me that 1,000 times. I know what you're going to say. And I was like, you know what? I want to be that voice in your head. So when I'm not here, first we put our things away, and then we go to the table. You won't need me anymore.
Well, Deidre, too, I think all of us at our RICMS admire the way you have a way with kids. And my question at the heart of this is, how do you do it? How do you do it day in and day out? You are positive, you are energetic, you're giving kids high fives, you're giving them stickers. But at the same time, there are behaviors and there are things that are going to test any human being. And you have a way of speaking directly, firmly with students that still gives them hope, that still keeps hope alive, that still gives them dignity, but also for yourself, you don't display any frustration. I can't do that. I'll speak for myself. How do you do it day in and day out?
Well, I do it for the hugs.
Plain and simple. That's pretty plain.
I love walking down the hallway and hearing Miss Dunbar with a hug. They follow the connection. They come to you because they feel seen. They feel heard. I feel lucky that they trust me to work through those things with them. And I've even told a few, I'm not going to make you tell me in your own words, but I hope you know you always can. And I think if they
good.
hear that enough, they eventually they feel it. And I think they feel the joy I have for my job. Kids feel it. You can't fake it. They know they know you show up for them. They know you're there. I also, in the heat of the moments, have told kids I don't know any bad kids. Like, and they might have just thrown a chair or not thrown a chair, but they might have just gotten really upset.
Yeah.
Gotten really upset or made a bad choice, and they look at me like, what? They feel like I see them and I believe in them, and they believe me, and that's important.
Yep. And your reach goes far beyond just RICMS, because you and Ryan, your husband, you guys do so much for our building as well. All three of your kids have gone through this building, but you guys have helped us out with so many pumpkins every year. You go out and get pumpkins so we can have a pumpkin contest for every grade level, every classroom. You've helped us out with our spring carnival every single year with donations. I mean, you just are a very selfless family, and I think that is just part of all of your characters. And that shines through, like you said. It's authentic.
And they do that for our school. And they do that for Ryan's school. And
I'm not sure when they sleep.
Yeah, like I was hoping we'd get to that, because when I talked about your impact extends far beyond the school day. Talk to us about your family's decision or desire to help out events, carnivals, spring cleanups, whatever it is. You and your family are there.
They're there.
Yeah, where does that come from?
My husband went to Our Lady of Grace. That at that time it was St. Anne's.
Yep.
My kids, and that's the private school I started at. That's where my kids got their foundation. That's where they started learning. And their motto is enter to learn, exit to serve. And I just love that. I want my kids to see me stepping up and providing support. I talk to my kids about how I support students and how they struggle. And I want them to understand that not everybody learns the same way. Not everybody goes through the day the same way. And sometimes it's hard. And I feel like they're helpers. And I feel like they see Ryan and I do that. And it's important. We're invested in this district. We're invested in this community. We live here. Our kids go here. I work here. We're teaching future leaders. We're teaching future community members, and we want to be that change. Our kids are future leaders. Our kids are future community members.
Well, your kids are definitely going to be, because I see it every day. I see it every day. They are so giving and so willing to help. They're part of the safety patrol, the safety squad that we have going through, just making sure that our building is safe every day. And I just see them helping and stepping in and not even hesitating. And it's awesome. And they're a great part of this building. And I thank you for that, because the support that you guys give all the way through, even from your kids all the way up, it really makes our building and the district, your building, better. It really, really does.
And Ian and I, we talk shop a lot. So leadership is sort of our buzz topic. And one of the things we talk about quite often is that leadership isn't a position. Leadership is not a title. Leadership comes from within. And you can be a leader wherever you are in a system. It could be a student, it could be a para, it could be a teacher, it could be a principal. And, your impact, once again, is because you're a leader in the position as paraprofessional. So I'm wondering, we're hiring new paras, kitchen staff, playground supervisors, all kinds of different roles every day, right? There are things that come out that are postings. And you're one of our greatest leaders, and you're a quote-unquote paraprofessional. What advice do you give to people who are coming into Rock Island and are serving in any role? What advice do you have for them?
I would. It's hard to think of myself in that role as a leader, or because I just feel like I'm learning so much daily. But I would say believe, and I know that you guys are a fan of my favorite show too. Lasso loves the believe, but
Yep.
believe in yourself and believe in the impact you make. Believe that you make a difference, and believe that you can stay consistent with accountability in working through the messiness, because it's beautiful when you come out the other side. Celebrate everything. Celebrate the little things, especially in special education. Our movement is not always leaps and jumps. We make small little steps. But we also know, like, we have that roadmap. We know that they're going to get there. And we keep it close, but sometimes we let them drive. And so sometimes they're a little slower than, they tell us to slow down, but just keep pushing and celebrate those tiny movements, celebrate the little things, and make sure that you share your goals and your accountability with the people around you. It's hard to do things on your own. You have to have a team. I have such a highly communicative and collaborative team. The teacher that I've supported for the last this is my 4th year in his classroom, and our K-2 teaching team is amazing. It feels so non-judgmental, supportive. We're not scared to brainstorm ideas. I believe that others have opinions, others have solutions, and they're worth hearing. And
they would say the same about you,
Of course.
right? If somebody were to come into those meetings, they would see Deidre as an equal. You would see teachers valuing her opinions, valuing her thoughts, ideas. It's the way every team should be. And so you're valued because you're you.
well, thank you.
Not because of that position or title that you have. And in the classroom, if anyone in the district wanted to come in to your classroom and see you and the teacher there working with kids, I'm not sure they would know who the teacher is and who the para is. So talk to us about the strategies in your. So I'm really getting into the classroom, and when I walk in there, you are a competent teacher. Where are you learning those strategies, and how are you getting those strategies? And I think people would be really impressed to walk into that room and see all that's happening. Where does it come from?
Well, I think the teacher that I work with, Dr. Rickard, he and I talked early on about where we wanted to go and what's important to me as an educator, what's important to him, and we kind of know what our strengths and what our weaknesses are, and one of our most important things is giving support, but not only to our students but to our teachers. And we wanted our schedule to run that would support our teachers the best way that we could. So we try to work our groups to where we're pulling at times that they're not missing things that they can be successful in the classroom. And when they come in, we try to work on things that are close to what they're learning in the classroom. We try to use the materials, so when they see it, they know that when they're in the classroom and they're seeing these materials, it's materials that we've worked through in our room, but at the level of their learning. So that takes our teachers being our resources. That takes us going to and talking to them and knowing, where are you at? What are you doing? What can we use? What we want them to know the material and the things that they're going to be expected to learn when we're not around. We want to be that voice in their head when they see that material. So a lot of our resources, a lot of the things that we're learning from our teachers. We're discussing each other. We are our best resources. There's so much experience and knowledge in our building, and I love going into classrooms. I love seeing the verbiage that a teacher uses when they're explaining the concept that we've been working on in our groups. And I try to take that into our classroom and maybe just explain, this is a little bit more, so that our kids can approach learning more confidently. I always tell people that a lot of what we learn in our groups is how to learn, how to approach learning, how to make decisions, how to ask for help, how to work through the frustrations.
And I think you said something a little while ago that's kind of stuck, keeps running. You were talking about letting the kids drive, letting the students drive. And we know that some of the best learning happens when students take ownership of their own learning. And that doesn't always get to happen in every setting. And so I think all the things you were just describing are great, but I think that underlying where we're going to listen to what the kids are giving us, that feedback, and let them feel like they are in charge of some of that speaks volumes as well. And I think that also happens with any of your interactions that you're talking about when we're talking about at the beginning where you just listen and you're consistent, but they have to be in control of those things. You're there to support what you're talking about. And that's a great mixture of all the things, all the instructional practices you were talking about, and also the understanding of the most powerful type of learning is when the kids feel they are in charge of their own learning.
And to be honest, a lot of our kids, they don't feel in charge in a lot of situations, especially in large groups. And so them taking that ownership and feeling that confidence, and that's why we do a lot of peer support too. Just building those social skills and learning how to help someone else makes them realize, oh, I was struggling with this. I have a student in my morning group who had really hard mornings, and we have a little kindergartner who, he's a little guy, but he can come in with a rough start. And to hear this student who's now upstairs just say, it's okay, buddy. I want to keep you safe, but I want to give you space. I just need you to move over here. I'm like, wow. But she's taken ownership of that, and she helps him get his folders out and put his stuff away. She's my little teacher. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing to watch them grow.
And that student that you're speaking about right there. I forget the situation, but it was a couple of weeks ago, and I had to pull the teacher out of her resource upstairs, and she just went and was teaching the class, and the class was listening while I was speaking for 3 or 4 minutes in the hallway with the teacher, and then we walked back in, and there she was. They were all sitting around the table.
Miss a beat.
Not at all. She just took over. So maybe we'll be interviewing her
That's
someday
right.
on the podcast.
That's right.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. You are still working on becoming a teacher.
I am.
Yeah. And so with all that you're doing, it's hard for me to know with what you're doing with our schools, ours, Ian's, Ryan's, your family and your kids. How's that going? And what are your plans once you have your degree?
Well, it's going slowly, and that's okay.
It's
That's okay. Because I
Little
do.
steps.
That's
right?
it.
Little
That's
steps.
it.
Well, I'm fortunate. I love my job, and I love what I do. Once I get my degree, I would love to stay in special education. I knew the second year I was assistant teacher at the Head Start building. We were the start of an inclusion classroom, and learning through these strategies through the PT and the OT and the special education teachers who came into the classroom for services and to give resources and just have discussions, I knew that special education was what I wanted to do. And so I do plan someday to do that. but I don't feel rushed right now because I really love being able to stop the world and work with students. I love to show up and be there when they need me, and I have that kind of a little bit of flexibility with the team that I'm on and the classroom that I'm in, and I feel like I can make a difference in this position.
Well, you don't need to feel like it. We all know
We
it.
know it.
we
We
know
absolutely
it.
know
We
it.
know it. Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Deidre. I really appreciate your time today. I always appreciate when I get to see you. You always have some of the best positive stories and hopeful outlook on things, and it inspires me. So I thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Echo. Yeah, ditto. I echo all that. All right, we benefit so much. So you take as long as you want to get that degree, so as long as we can keep you at RICMS, we're happy.
Well, you have to stay too. So
Okay.
Ready for the rollout? I was trying to lead into it. Ready? Ready? We'll start.
Do
it
not
here.
play poker.
Are you ready? Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Deidre, for joining us today. We really appreciate spending a little bit of time with us.
And we want to thank our listeners, and don't forget to hit that like button and share and subscribe on any of the channels that you listen to podcasts.
If you're feeling generous, give us 5 stars, please, and tell a friend to tune in.
This has been My Rock Podcast. Until next time.
Rock on.